Hebrews. This is our Prophets of Awakening. This is our Israelite Advanced Bible Study night on Tuesday, 5th of March, 2024. What I'll be doing is I'll be reading out the book of Enoch and showing you how what is being said and revealed in the book of Enoch, how it destroys the New Testament. We're going to deal with that. Okay, you can go to our Prophets of Awakening, to our YouTube channel, and check out our videos. We have like 900 or so videos. You can check them out and rightly divide them. And if you like what you're hearing and receiving, I'm asking you to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, right? And for those that feel a need to support the channel, we have Cash App at the bottom of the screen, okay? And our hours of operation, we change them a little bit to try to accommodate everybody that comes in and listen. It's no longer at 8 Central. It's at 7 Central to 9 Central Time, Monday through Friday. And on Friday nights, we on it says from 7 to 9, but we on Clubhouse. It's our men's advanced Bible study. And we have a women's advanced Bible study on Thursday nights from 7 to 9 Central Time. And on Wednesdays we have reading through the Tanakh. We do a lot of reading and breaking down scripture. That's from 7 to 9 Eastern Time every Wednesday. Okay. So with that being said, shalom and welcome to the channel. Welcome to our advanced Bible study. We're going to do our normal, which is a moment of silence, a prayer. We read the Psalms, then we do some current events. We get some feedback on that, then we open it up for the Q&A, a little dialogue. Then we go into our topic, which is dealing with the book of Enoch and doing a comparison and contrast with what was given to us in the New Testament, and to rightly divide the two. Okay, so with that being said, moment of silence is for the Lord of hosts. All that he's doing to bring about our prophesied deliverance in these last days. Oh Lord, we come this day, bow down, honoring you, praising you, and believing in you. We thank you for your wisdom, the knowledge that you have poured out upon us. And through your prophets, you have revealed times that we are, as Jacob's children, to endure this tribulation. Keep us, O Lord, and guide us and deliver us. We see you now within the Holy Scriptures. And we trust you, O Lord, with all our heart and our soul. Keep not thy silence, but allow thy face to shine down upon our enemies with thy great power and thy great glory. Peace be unto you. And with that, we read the Psalms. Okay. 8. I'll read Psalm 42. It says it's intense longing for God. It's one of David's chief musicians, Korah, as the heart panteth after the water brook, so panteth my soul after thee, O God. My soul thirsteth for God, for the living God. When shall I come and appear before God? My tears have been my meat day and night, while the continuously say unto me, where is my God? When I remember these things, I pour out my soul in me. For I had gone with the multitude. I went with them to the house of God with the voice of joy and praise, with a multitude that kept holy day. Why art thou cast down, O my soul? And why art thou disquieted in me? Hope thou in God, for I shall yet praise him for the help of his countenance. O my God, my soul is cast down within me. Therefore will I remember thee from the land of Jordan, and from the Hermonites, from the hill Mitzvah, deep calleth unto the deep at the noise of thy water spouts. All thy waves and thy billows are gone over me. Yet the Lord will command his loving kindness in the daytime, and in the night his song shall be with me, and my prayer unto the God of my life. I will say unto God my rock, why hast thou forgotten me? Why go I mourning because of the oppression of the enemy? As with a sword in my bones, my enemies reproach me, while they say daily unto me, where is thy God? Why art thou cast down, O my soul? And why art thou disquieted within me? Hope thou in God, for I shall yet praise him, who is who is the health of my countenance and my God. That was Psalms 42. Like I was saying before. Anybody have any comments on it? Okay, so like I was saying over and over again, that the difference in us and our forefathers was, once the temple even before the temple was built, we see in Exodus how he was in front of them when he led them through the wilderness, across the Red Sea. He in front of them. They see him up there. So right here it says in Psalms 42, as the heart panteth and as the water brooks, so panteth my soul after the God. Then this is Korah, right? Remembering, just like with David. David saying the same thing. He says in the congregation, they have three high holy days a year, that they all come together as come together at one place, or in the temple and around the temple. So it says in verse 2, my soul thirsted for God, for the living God. When shall I come and appear before him? So what it's talking about is those 3 times of the year, all the males by tribe and by household got to appear before God. Like I said, he's standing there. We got to appear before him, just like we see in a military procession. The president show up, or the battalion commander might come. And everybody got a parade in front of the general. He's standing there, and everybody. So it's the same thing right here. On those 7 holy days, they have to appear before God by their lineage, by their household, by their lineage, by their tribes. They got to appear before him. The same thing happened when Achan at AI, when they couldn't defeat those people at AI because Achan had stole. He had heart, or he had they call that word, he harbored gold and silver that he told him not to get. So he had stole it while they was conquering his country and put it in his tent. And that was wicked. So when they got ready to fight against AI, they couldn't win. And they was wondering why. And the Lord host told them, somebody in the camp got gold and silver hidden in his tent. So they all had to come before him. See, I'll show you that in a minute, but they had to come before him by their households, by their tribes. And then finally when they got to Achan, that's when he told them, it's him. So they ended up eventually killing him. But anyway, so he says in verse 2, my soul thirsted for God, for the living God. When shall I come? When shall I come and appear before God? So they dealing with him, right? Personally. Just like you go to church and the pastor sitting up there. So verse 3 says, my tears have been my meat day and night, while continuously say unto me, where is thy God? When I remember, here you go right here. When I remember these things, I pour out my soul in me, for I have gone with the multitude. That's all the 12 tribes on the high holy days. I have gone with the multitude. I went with them to the house of God, to the temple, with the voice of joy and praise, with a multitude that kept the holy days. That's right, that's the 3 holy days. 3 of them. That's what David continuously talking about in all his songs. Is when I'm gonna act a fool when I get to the temple, because he know God, the Lord host is there. He gonna do like he did when he brought the ark into Jerusalem when he danced out his clothes in front of everybody. So he's saying that, and it ain't just him. They have so much joy and righteousness and love for the Lord host that they can't even contain themselves on those holy days. They can't wait till the holy day come, right? So yeah, so that's what you go back to, the good fig and the bad fig. That's what that is. You got people that love the Lord, doing all his commandments, keeping his commandments, his laws, statutes, and judgments. You got a group that don't give a damn about it, but they all dealing with him. But you got that group, that righteous group. Right. So, with that being said, anybody got any comments on that? Okay, so we'll go to our some current events. Okay. You're acting up.
Democratic nominee. Joe Biden will not be the nominee. Joe Biden will not be the Democratic Party nominee. Whoa. You're on record. On record. People feel it's not up to the job anymore, certainly not for the next 4 years. They cannot have him running in November, but they know they cannot go with this guy in this kind of condition.
Mr. Biden is a sympathetic, well-meaning, elderly man with a poor memory. Special counsel Robert Hur wrote in a 388-page report.
President Biden, something the special counsel said in his report is that one of the reasons you were not charged is because, in his description, you are a well-meaning, elderly man with a poor memory. How rare is your memory? And can you continue as president?
My memory is so bad I let you speak. That's
Mr. President, for months when you were asked about your age, you would respond with the words, "Watch me." Well, many American people have been watching, and they have expressed concerns about your age.
That is your judgment.
After that scathing special counsel report about the president's mental fitness, his fiery defensive emergency press conference seems to have dug him a bigger hole, and the White House counsel was sent out the next day trying to clean it all up. What does it say about the president's ability to hold on to his incumbency? Biden should not run, and Harris would be worse for the country. So who's next in line? Best chances of being elected this fall. Trump is a 5 to 6 shot. It's better than even. Biden 15 to 8, a little better than 2 to 1. Next in line, Michelle Obama 11 to 1, ahead of Nikki Haley, Gavin Newsom, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and Kamala Harris.
Who do you think it could be? If not Joe Biden.
Joe Biden will not be the nominee. I said this last year. People dismissed it as some type of conspiracy theory. Today, I think it became that much more obvious. Play this out. Biden's own DOJ and special counsel is effectively releasing a report that undermines the case for him to actually be a candidate for the U.S. presidency, right as Biden's poll numbers are cratering. But I do think what they're planning for is to sideline Biden as the nominee, trot in a different puppet instead. That's the most significant takeaway from tonight. But I think the reality is this. The managerial class in the Democratic Party, and I believe in the deep state, has decided that they have lost their use for Joe Biden as a puppet. I think they laid a trap for him. They invited him effectively to prove to the American people that he doesn't have the mental acuity to do it. He fell into their trap. And now they're laying the groundwork for in the coming 3 months to sideline him and actually put up who the real nominee is going to be. So I said this at the end of one of the Republican presidential debates, and I'll say it again. Just be honest with the American people. Tell us who the actual nominee is going to be so that we don't play these games and we can actually have an honest, open debate about who should be the next president of the United States. Because we know that Joe Biden is not going to be one of those candidates. And I think tonight made that much more clear.
Now look at this headline. I'll read it for you. 3 scenarios to replace Joe Biden on the ballot. Any chance of them happening? That's a good question, isn't it? Joe Concha wrote it and is with me now. All right, Joe, what are these three scenarios? And do you think any of them are likely to actually take place?
Well, Stu, I'll run them down and I'll give you my final answer on the second question. Scenario number one is the most common scenario among the political class, chattering class. At the Democratic National Convention in July, Joe Biden suddenly announces that he can't go forward with his re-election campaign. The reason is almost irrelevant. Needless to say, delegates on the convention floor magically are all in sync in nominating former First Lady Michelle Obama to be the nominee. Of course, this is the party that continues to insist to this day that they can only save democracy from Donald Trump, but they will have no problem in taking away the voters' rights in terms of deciding who the primary nominee is out of that particular process. And the media, of course, because a Michelle Obama candidacy is far, far more interesting than covering old Joe Biden, they will embrace this because the love affair with the Obamas never truly ended.
Everybody is talking about Joe Biden's too old to run. It's that conversation right there. Joe Biden's too old, da-da-da-da-da-da. And then the question turns to, well, who could do the job better than him? Everybody looks around at each other. And then the next question is, who could beat Trump? Everybody looks at their, shoes, and yeah, nobody. And that's the thing. It's so interesting. David Ignatius wrote that column yesterday, and so everybody, everybody's like, oh, this is horrible, it's horrible. It's what they were saying, but it's almost like that article, I personally think, did Joe Biden a favor. And I think that because it finally got it out there. Okay, this is what everybody's talking about. Okay, you want to talk about it? Let's talk about it. Who you got? Who do you have to replace him? And there was a deafening silence yesterday.
Should he run again? I think that I think it's we'll take a look at it. Okay. But right now we need to focus on winning a majority instead of a presidential election.
I've got to share this. Your car insurance company does not.
A re-election ahead of me.
Do you want to see Joe Biden?
I don't want to answer that question because we have not. I don't want to answer that question.
Do you believe President Biden should run for a second term?
I have said if he runs, I'll support him.
I'm working on my own election, and that's all I'm focused on right now.
Everybody's worried about elections. That's the problem. It's a 2022 election, 2024.
No, but this is a simple question. Would you?
No. It's not. I'm not getting involved in that, John.
Too early to say. It doesn't serve the purpose of the Democratic Party to deal with that until after the midterms. Ms. Maloney.
I don't believe he's running for re-election. Mr. President, I apologize. I want you to run. I happen to think you won't be running, but when you run or if you run, I will be there 100%.
Always a family member who says, in my case, it's my brother, keep your eye on Michelle Obama. And I say, that is crazy. What should we be saying about Michelle Obama?
Well, here's what I know. Michelle Obama loves this country. She's a brilliant person and a brilliant communicator, but she was a conscript to politics. She never was interested in a political life. Even when Barack Obama was a young politician, she really didn't participate much in his campaigns. I was with him in his Senate campaign in 2004. I think she showed up twice in the whole campaign on election nights.
Now, will this happen? I say no, Stuart, because Michelle Obama is quite happy winning Emmy Awards for Netflix, living on her opulent estate on Martha's Vineyard, and she's never actually run anything in her life, right? At least Hillary Clinton had a resume when she ran for president. Michelle Obama's resume is being a lawyer decades ago. That's basically it. So I don't think she wants to step into this, and we don't know any of her policy positions anyway. So I don't see that happening.
So, she's not someone who likes politics. She doesn't like the tone and tenor of politics. And I would be floored if she would consent to that.
You ready for scenario number two?
Yes, go through it.
Okay. So scenario number two is that the same thing happens, but it happens with Gavin Newsom, right? Where he is elected to be the nominee on the convention floor. Again, the voters don't decide, people at the convention decide, because they see Joe Biden trailing Donald Trump in the way that he is at this point. And they say, no, we can't win with Joe Biden. He'll be 86 in the Oval Office in 2028. We want a younger, fresher face for the Democratic Party, and Gavin Newsom is our guy. But again, Gavin Newsom would then have to run on his record. His record is not anything that you can be proud of in California, right? Highest taxes in the country, highest poverty rate in the country, more people moving out of California to places like Florida than any other state in the country. So I just can't see that happening as well, Stu.
Number three, which is number three?
Number three. Yes. So number three, I had forgotten, believe it or not. And now I have to look it up on my phone because I just, what can I say? It was a long weekend, I guess. And I'm just trying to find it at this point.
Don't worry, it's on the screen.
Oh, there it is. Thank God. Oh, yes. Kamala Harris will take the. Yeah, seriously, your producers are excellent. Thank you so much for that. Kamala Harris will take the presidential mantle. I see this as a non-starter, Stu, because she's somehow polling lower than Joe Biden is at this point. And when you see polls asking the question, can Kamala Harris be president right now as we speak? Most say no, she's not ready for the job. So I just couldn't see. Normally, the natural procession is for the vice president to take over. We saw it with obviously Richard Nixon after Dwight Eisenhower, eventually anyway. Al Gore ran after Bill Clinton, George H.W. Bush after Reagan. But here, it just doesn't seem to be something that is even something that's embraced by Democratic voters at this point, Stu.
Did you at any time think, like a lot of people did, that Joe Biden was going to come out and make some bold statement, maybe not to run for re-election?
I think that there was probably a discussion heading into it. And the reality is the Democratic Party has always had one obstacle stopping them from sidelining Joe Biden. That's what I call the Kamala Harris problem. They've tethered their identity to identity politics. Yet if they don't make her the nominee, it makes them very difficult to sideline Biden, which is what leads me to, I think, the likely conclusion that it is going to be someone like Michelle Obama, who they do put up. So I think there are serious discussions likely underway. Pretty soon those are going to spill over into the public sphere.
Okay, any comments on that?
I think it's a big distraction. I mean, you in a country of 300 million people, the people that's representing the potential presidency for 2025 are two of the men who were born and raised in an age gone by, and where we're right now currently fighting whether or not we're going to bring this age in or we're going to fight against it. To me, they both represent two sides of the same coin. One side want to take us all the way back. The other side realize change is coming, but they want to slow walk it and bring it in the way they want it to be brought in. It's just a big distraction. I just feel like we have been inundated like no other time before about the state of this country and whether or not we're going backwards or we're going forwards. Meanwhile, all this other stuff that's really going on is really going to determine where we're going to be at in the next year or two. Nobody's talking about that at all. We're just inundated with this Trump stuff and how old Biden is when Trump is only 4 years younger than him. I don't see a significant difference between the two of them. The other side of that too, for me, is the idea that they want a woman is actually going to possibly be the next president, not in 2025, but after that. Michelle Obama is not running, but Nikki Haley is undermining Trump. She's a woman representing the Republicans, and they're thinking about or trying to beg Michelle to come in when she's consistently says she has no desire to come in. I don't understand the idea why they're even pursuing her.
Okay. Yeah, when I look at that, I see them so they're so adamant about Michelle because the blacks are abandoning the Democratic Party, and they're thinking that by bringing her, she'll bring them back.
Yeah, I don't see her ever. I don't see her getting into politics at all. I feel like for me personally, this may be too controversial. I think this is the white man's last stance, and we finna see something totally different. If we don't see the end, something really that's going to change our landscape is coming in. This is their last, and they couldn't get nobody out of 300 million people than two of the oldest people on the planet.
Right.
That don't even make sense.
Right. You got to look at that other, nobody talking about it though, but Cornel West. He run as independent.
Yeah, but he's not running at a significant tally in order to get any kind of delegates or anything. I mean, I've heard this video before, and I think that like right now, what I'm seeing is Biden, people are starting to come home. I mean, we have 10 months left to the is it 10, 7 months or so like that to the election. People are starting to come home for Democrats because the choice is so stark. But still, people are not coming and will vote for Biden because they believe so much in him. I think it's a vote against Trump. That's what it's going to come down to. But what I think is interesting is what's happening is people are, I don't know if you saw this thing about Haiti. They're supposed to have some kind of national Haiti day where they're going, all the Haitians that live in America are going to have this national protest that if Biden don't do something about what's going on in Haiti, that they're going to vote against him. This thing about the uncommitted people, about the stuff going on in Palestine. If he doesn't push for the ceasefire, they're not going to vote for him. Now, that's interesting to me. That's something that's I think is they're not paying attention to that they should.
Right, exactly. Right. Anybody else? Okay. Nobody else have any comments on that? Okay. Can we move forward?
But after all you tax avoiders out there who decided not to pay your taxes, you know, there's a big movement right now in the United States, people saying, I'm not paying my taxes anymore. The United States government has failed us. They're sending, you know, hundreds of billions of dollars to Ukraine and Israel and all of these other countries and wars around the world. Our infrastructure is falling apart. Our southern border is an absolute mess and we're being invaded and we're going to pay our taxes. Gentleman running for Congress out of Michigan, Anthony Hudson, I just spoke to him last week in an interview, and he said, yeah, I'm leading a movement. Stop paying your taxes. Stop paying your taxes right now. So we'll see how this goes, because how is the IRS going to enforce this? How are they going to go after millions of Americans who say enough is enough? Well, we'll see if this movement catches ground. But right now, the IRS, over the past few days, on February 29th, has announced a new round of a new plan to go after those who are not paying their taxes. Specifically, 125,000 cases of taxpayers with annual incomes over $400,000. Does that sound like you? If it is, and you didn't file a tax return between 2017 and 2021, the IRS is coming after you. They've sent out notices, and they were tipped off by various people with third-party information indicating that these taxpayers received taxable income but failed to file a tax return. So people are snitching on them. I think that's what the IRS basically says here, that people have been snitching on them. Information on these taxpayers indicates a total financial activity of over $100 billion. If you think about the amount of enforcement effort that's going to take to bring in $100 billion into the government, I hate saying this, but they literally just sent over $100 billion to Ukraine. So they're going to go after American taxpayers now for back taxes. And that won't even cover the amount they've already sent to a foreign country to carry out a war. I mean, think about the hypocrisy. I mean, it's just unbelievable, right? And they said even with a conservative estimate, the IRS believes hundreds of millions of dollars of unpaid taxes are involved in these cases, according to the IRS. So this is known as CP59 notices. So look in your mail. You might be seeing some of these notices hitting your mailbox if you have not filed your taxes.
Okay. Any comments on that?
So what's the difference? What's the difference in filing taxes and the taxes come out of your check every month? So I mean, or every time you get paid, you're talking about going after people who didn't file their taxes. It's a joke. They are all this money they're sitting overseas. All they do is print the money and make more money. The true question is why is there a tax system now after 1970, when they print money that they want to put into circulation or send, and then the credit is really what getting America by. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm not going to pretend like I know all the inter parts of taxation, but I think a lot of people's eyes were really open this last year when they was talking about how we are supporting and have been supporting Israel, when this so-called country, which is not a country, has free healthcare and free education, and we are supplementing we're supplementing that country, and we can't get that here, but yet you can send trillions of dollars in 1 year to support a nation for a couple of months. Yeah, I think all of it's unraveling. That's what I was alluding to earlier. It's a facade.
Right. Anybody else? Yeah. So when you look at that, based off of the previous video we was talking about, when you're looking at the election, what's coming up, look at the spirit. Like for instance, look at Trump. How is he even running after all the shit he's done? All the stuff that's going on with him, all the criminal stuff going on with him. How is he even running? That's crazy. And then so you look at the Texas governor. Look how he's not respecting the presidency.
Mm-hmm.
He handling Biden any kind of way he want to. And then January 6th, look what they done in January 6th. And then like right now, this video, the taxpayers jump up and say, they ain't paying no taxes. When that's a part of America, that's a responsibility as American. It's like I said, the Texas governor, as a governor, your responsibility is to obey the president. All of a sudden now you saying you ain't doing what the president say. That's crazy. I mean, it's laws in place to punish him for that. And it ain't happened, just like with Trump. There's laws in place for a man to do what he done in January 6th. But he is leading the Republican Party to be the next president.
Yeah, it's the left, but it's one of the things you get back to the spiritual side of that. This is a fight between the spirits in high places. This is them, the left versus the right of America, trying to get control of it. We ain't got nothing to do with this. And I don't think that we are going to be able to make a difference. And what's going to happen is it's Trump's mindset versus the Biden mindset, if you will, if you want to make it simple like that. They are trying to fight for control of this country. They change the laws based on what they want to do at that time.
Right. Like that song?
Something just popped up. What's that?
Oh yeah, that's somebody saying that what's going on in Haiti.
Oh yeah, I saw that earlier today.
Oh, that's all.
Yeah, we don't know what's going on over there. They so many lies about what really happened. The guy that got assassinated, talking about his wife did it or was involved with it. We don't know.
Right. Oh yeah, they got a plan behind, like I said before, what people don't understand about the Esau, right where to go when it's time to go. Like I said, this place was where Americans at today. Even at today, the Black America, where they at today, they was there before Biden. That was the whole purpose of bringing Biden in. Mm-hmm. Quell that uprising that was starting to formulate, and now it's back again. So they got to find some kind of way to quell that, and he knows just what to do. Right where to go. Like he know his case. He know we didn't know it, but we know it now that that's a hotbed. Ukraine always been a hotbed, and Gaza and Israel conflict been a hotbed. So they know when it's time to throw the American people out, they can go right to Ukraine, start some drama over there, go right to Israel, start some drama. And then what the people complaining about, now all of a sudden they ain't worried about that. They're dealing with what's going on over there. When that's been there the whole time. They know just what to do. And that's what we don't understand. We come to get manipulated. So that's why it's so important to understand who the Redeemer is, who the Creator is, because he the only one gonna shut it down. Because they can do this for 400,000 years. Jump around like this. Like I said, look at what's going on with Trump. This dude got all these court cases, and then all the drama he did. He really committed treason in January 6th. I asked you the damn #1 candidate for the Republicans 4 years later. That's crazy.
Yeah. It really opened.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it really opened my eyes to the degree of how laws mean nothing until the person who's making the laws who in power, until they make the law based on what they want. So actually they mean nothing. Like the law that says don't drive through a red light. And we adhere to that because it's drilled in us to do that. I mean, of course, you know the danger if you go through it, but really that's a law, but it really doesn't mean anything. They can change it and say go through a green light. Right. It's your willingness to follow it.
Right. Exactly. And it go in it. Just that understanding alone is what's crumbling. When you start talking about the system that's crumbling. The New Testament, the same thing. But what they had in place was that we believed it.
Yeah.
Like I said, and it's something that they just wrote down. To control the people. It's what it's starting even with Israel. Now it's common knowledge. They ain't the real Israelites. Especially with this drama that just popped up over there now. The whole system that they set in place is crumbling.
Yeah. The only power they ever had was the power that we gave them and believing what they said.
Exactly.
And that's fallen away.
Right. And they on their own negligence. Because like I said before, because of what they're trying to do. That was some kind of there was a plot they had. Everybody done forgot about it. They concocted that temple they're talking about gonna be built in Jerusalem. It ain't part of prophecy. They didn't concoct it. So you ruling the world, you got all of you controlling everything, but you want a temple built. So that's why you started this war in Israel over there now, because you trying to go somewhere, but it ain't work. All you did was uncover some old lies, and now people looking at you like you a fool. That's what that is. And that's how the Creator works. You thinking it's business as usual, you're gonna continue doing what you're doing, but he allowing you to make mistakes that's gonna expose you and bring that system down to the ground. And that's what we're looking at. Okay. So with that being said, I'm gonna open up for some Q&A. Anybody have any questions about anything they want to talk about? They came across, they want to chop it up? Got questions about?
I don't want to dominate the conversation, but I have a question if nobody else does.
Go ahead.
What do you think about Rothschild dying last Monday?
That's all part of this plane, the entire plane they got going on. Like I said, keep in mind about the red-haired kid. It's over there, the one, the red-haired guy that they have on the walls in the Denver airport. And then not only that, they got him on the walls in the Bank of America in the headquarters. So you say, what are you talking about? Okay, look at what's going on with Prince Charles too. But look at the Rothschild side of it. Okay, Bank of America. If you go back to the Lehman Brothers, it was an orchestration. Like I said, it was a controlled demo job in 2008 when they brought down said it was collapsed. Right. Well, now Bank of America in trouble. So you think it was some drama with Lehman Brothers, Bank of America? That's the biggest financial institution it is, but it's controlled by the Rothschilds. So and then you got all these people don't know it, but you got all these what you call warnings in right there on the artwork on the walls and in the Denver airport. You riding by there and you say, well, what the hell you passing through? What's this? What is this? Got this red-headed kid standing there with God, or everybody else got on gas masks, and he's standing there, but he ain't just standing there, he's standing on the square, on the Masonic square. Then you got him in the same place in the Bank of America standing on the square. But you got the sun behind him and it's darkened. It's in a total eclipse behind him. You know, that ain't just there for the hell of it. It's got something to do with it. Then Trump red-headed. That's what a lot of people don't see either. He a red-headed. So, like I said before, it ain't that ain't got nothing to do with scripture. Our forefathers, the prophets, and our little ain't prophesied about no damn third temple. That's something they concocted. So they trying to make it happen. Like I said, Antiochus destroyed the second temple, brought it down. Ain't no how the Antichrist is gonna come when ain't no temple. The temple was destroyed way back in 143 BC. That's prophecy when you start talking about going into church history, which is part of the Western world, and the Creator and the Lord of hosts is against the West. He got a problem with the West. The West is full of Gentiles. That's what we're gonna deal with in the book of Enoch. But he ain't having to do with that. All those are concoctions that they done brought about and made them prophecies. But they don't have nothing to do with us. So they trying to make, like I say, they can just stop right here. They ruling the world. But like he said, it's a foolish nation. They want to come on and try to push the ticket. They know anybody in their right mind know if you tamper with that mosque that's in Jerusalem, try to tear it down, all hell gonna break loose. But that's what they want to do. Their objective is to tear that mosque down and build that temple. And that temple ain't got shit to do with prophecy. Okay.
You're referring to the Temple Mount? They want to tear it down?
They want to tear down. It's a mosque on there. It's a mosque on top of the Temple Mount. And all of them, for them to fulfill what they trying to do, try to solidify the fact that they're the real Israelites, they want to build a temple. But they got to deal with that mosque in order to build a temple. So yeah, so like I said, I mean, if I'm sitting there with $10 trillion, I don't give a damn temple. But that's how he said it's a foolish nation. You ruling the world, you got everything on lock. Got the people dumbed down. Why you started pushing the issue to now it's going against you. Everybody in their right mind can see them as the real Jews now. Once they tried, when they started wiping out Gaza, they ain't no prophecy. They ain't even in the New Testament. So they exposed their own hand. And the Creator is behind it. And yeah, the whole world in the uproar about that. It's genocide. Okay. Anybody got anything else? I skipped over this which is important. I skipped over this. That's this part of actual true prophecy. Is these coups that's going on in
channel and join the conversation. Are we witnessing the rise of Africa through coups? Hello, my name is Renelo Morema, and welcome to the African Diaspora News Channel, reporting live from South Africa.
So this is a trick coming in there when you understand what happened. Those Israelites, thousands and thousands of Israelites fled into Africa when the temple was destroyed, the real temple, Zerubbabel temple in 143 C. So they're not Israel, they're not Africans. This is what the whole world getting bamboozled at. They're not Africans. They're Israelites. What you're looking at now, these coups taking place, these people rising up, young dudes taking over these countries. Them are Israelites. Them are Africans. And that's what so many people throw it out there.
Johannesburg. The rise of Africa through coups in recent years, a surge of military coup is sweeping across Africa.
Right.
While military takeovers in Africa are nothing new, the coup of the past 3 years have taken on a new dynamic. Most of them have received the backing of many citizens.
So right here, this joy, this noise you hear, this is what you used to hear. Like I was talking about the 3 feasts, the 3 days, 3 holy days. This is what was happening all across the land of Israel. This is the joy they had. That's been taken away from us.
While each coup is unique, they all share the same attributes: a deficit and the inability of elected governments to deliver freedom, security, and development. What is interesting about these recent coups is that a new model of coup is being established, which differs from what we are used to or what has gone before. The so-called bloodless coups are a well-established concept. Unlike before, incumbents have not violently been assassinated, and the ensuing death toll pales in comparison to previous coups, which has seen a high death toll in Ghana 1996 or Ghana in 1979. These non-violent coups have appeared to have positive feedback from the citizens. For example, the coup in Mali 2020 has come as a relief to many people who have lost faith in the leadership of Ibrahim Boubacar Keïta. Let us look at the ages of these coup leaders. They range from the ages of 34 to 41. They also have been lower in rank than most coup leaders, which tells me that they know.
The Bible calls them young lions.
And they've experienced the issues that plague the country from the ground. The relief of their citizens is their top priority. Their experience makes them more empathetic to the needs of their fellow citizens. Mamadi Doumbouya, the interim president of Guinea, who instigated the 5th of September 2021 coup d'etat in which the president of Guinea was detained, issued a broadcast on live television and stated that the motivation for the takeover is the dire political situation of the country, the non-respect of public administration, as well as poverty and corruption. And it is no secret that our current African leaders are still somewhat practicing or operating in the manner of the colonizers. In justifying his militarist action, Doumbouya quoted the former Ghanaian President Jerry Rawlings, who also rose to the power through a coup. If the people are crushed by the elite, it is up to the army to give people their freedom. Ibrahim Traore asked a question every African has been asking for the longest time at the Russia-African Summit. How does Africa, with so much wealth and power, become the world's poorest continent? And why do our leaders travel the world to beg? How can we beg for things that we mostly produce? That is every African question right now. What these coups have taught me, or what they have exposed, is the fact that the West, or the colonizers, claim to be aiding us for the development of our countries, but what they are doing is brainwashing us. They are suffocating us and allowing us to breathe only when it suits them. They are signing backdoor deals with our leaders without our permission nor our knowledge, which gives them power and which gives rise to corruption. And our leaders are so comfortable in benefiting from corruption that they are failing to confront the injustice done to their citizens. That is why countries like France still have influence, silently governing us while the minority flourish and us, the poor, we are left to deal with poverty. That is why people like Eric Prince have the guts to come forward and on a public platform and call for the recolonization of Africa.
Then it's time for us to just put the imperial hat back on to say, we're going to govern those countries if you're incapable of governing yourselves, because enough is enough. We're done being invaded.
Because our own national security risk is in.
Exactly. You can say that about pretty much all of Africa. They're incapable of governing themselves and benefiting their citizens, because the governments there are all about looting and pillaging and lining their pockets and going shopping in Paris instead of actually.
All right, hold on a second. Hold on. People on the left are going to watch this. They're going to say, wait a minute, Eric Prince is talking about being a colonialist again.
Absolutely. Yes.
I mean, if the aid was genuine, if the West was genuinely aiding us, they wouldn't have a problem with us trying to truly empower ourselves, develop our own country, and truly live in our freedom and truly experience liberation. But no, what did they do? What do they do the minute we start standing up for ourselves? They sever all financial ties with no care on how it will impact the masses. You know why? They never genuinely cared about us. They never, the aid was never genuine. It speaks volume about their character, and it speaks volume about the leaders' characters, our leaders' characters. They even associate themselves with our leaders with no regard to our well-being. And that is what these new waves of coups are trying to expose to us.
Okay, any comments on that?
Yeah, that's I mean, those are old tactics that are no longer working anymore, and they're desperate to try to figure out a new formula. I mean, when I saw something where they were talking about the bill that passed in Ghana about the anti-LGBT stuff, and how America had this another big conference, what do you call it, press conference, talking about we're going to withdraw our aid. Of rice and stuff, whatever they were giving us or giving them, with regards to why would we need to listen to them about them not giving us crops when that country is rich in diamonds and gold? I mean, it's just like the plantation mindset. You give one overseer, black overseer specifically, a few comforts, and then the rest suffer, and you use him like a Tim Scott or a Representative Donaldson to try to control the rest of us because they look like us, but they not us. And those tactics are not working anymore, and they don't know what to do.
Right. And that's what I'm showing is prophecy. But because the average person, black person, don't even know who they are. They don't know that we the Israelites. But once you know all that, get rid of JC, these things start shining. Like what we're looking at right here, these coups. It's right here in chapter 60 of Isaiah. Arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Lord, it says, the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee. For behold, darkness shall cover the whole earth, gross darkness the people, but the Lord shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. So that most people, everybody's thinking these Africans. This prophecy is Israel. It's Israelites. So he says, the Niger River, all that Negro land, them Israelites. So it says, for behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, but gross darkness the people. But the Lord shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. And the Gentiles, the west, shall come to thy light, kings to the brightness of thy rising. Lift up thine eyes round about and see. All they that gather themselves together, they come unto thee. Thy sons shall come from afar, and thy daughters shall be nursed upon thy side. Then thou shalt see and flow together, and thine heart shall fear and be enlarged, because the abundance of the sea shall be converted unto thee. The forces of the Gentiles, the west, shall come unto thee. That's what we're looking at. Just like he converted it to them, because we sinned, he converted it back to us. That's what we're looking at. But nobody's able to see that in correlation to the scriptures, to the Tanakh, and to us as Israelites. Yeah, so that's right there in our face. Okay. Anybody else? Okay, yeah. So like I said, the topic for discussion is that I'm reading out of the book of Enoch and showing you how, in plain, plain one-on-one English, they language, how that what Enoch is telling us is not, you can't even correlate it to the New Testament. It destroys the New Testament. So I'm gonna start reading, and again we'll break it down as we go. Okay. So everybody should be familiar with the narrative that's in the New Testament. So I'm in Enoch chapter 21, and it says, in the 6th year of the 7th week of this Jubilee, Abraham called Isaac his son and commanded him, saying, I am become old and know not the day of my death. And I am full of my days. And behold, I am 175 years old. And throughout all the days of my life, I have remembered the Lord. See that? So right here, not Jesus. He said, I remember the Lord. I sought with all my heart to do his will and to walk uprightly in all his ways. This is what I was telling you about. That's what David was talking. That's what David got the same spirit. Same when we were just reading the song we read with Kurt Cook, saying the same thing. They running behind us, they running behind the Lord of hosts with all fervor, all zeal, their whole being. They running behind the Lord of hosts. Ain't no Jesus. So he says, my soul have hated idols. Here we go. That's what we're dealing with today. An idol. He says, my soul hated idols, and I have despised those that serve them. So he got a problem with the Negroes that serve the idol. We ain't dealing with that. He says, I have hated idols, and I have despised those that serve them, and I have given my heart and my spirit that I might observe to do the will of him who created me. For he is the living God, and he is holy and faithful, and he is righteous beyond all. And there is with him no accepting of man's person, no accepting of gifts. For God is righteous and executing judgment on all those who transgress his commandments and despise his covenant. So it's a lot right here in this verse. So I want to break it down. So it says, for he is the living God. This is the Lord of hosts. I'm going to show you that. He is holy, right? And faithful. He is righteous beyond all. And there is with him no accepting of man's person, no accepting of gifts. For God is righteous. Now here we go. This is how we know it's him. And executed judgment on those that transgress his commandments and despise his covenant. So let's look at that. I don't want to just say it. So let's look at it. So who bring forth judgment? The Lord of hosts bring forth judgment. And who the covenant with? We go to Judges right quick. Go to Judges right quick. Chapter 2. And the angel of the Lord came up from Gilgal to Beckham and said, I made you to go up out of Egypt. I have brought you into the land which I swore unto your fathers. And I said, I will never break my covenant with you. So the angel, this angel of the Lord, Lord of hosts, Michael, got the covenant. That's what Abraham just told us. He the one who brings judgment. He came to Abraham and after he left Abraham, he destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. And we see there was 3 angels came. 2 of them went to Sodom. Abraham stayed with the Lord, this angel. So right here, same thing. He just said right here that, for he is the living God, he is holy and faithful, he is righteous beyond all. There is with him no accepting of man's person, no accepting of gifts, for God is righteous and executed judgment. That's characteristic of the Lord of hosts. On all those who transgress his commandments and despise his covenant. We just went to the precept, right? So 5, and do thou, my son, observe his, this Abraham talking to Isaac, and observe his commandments and his ordinances and his judgments, and walk not after the abominations and after graven images and after the molten images, and eating. Check it out. This big right here. Nobody really deal with. You know, he says, and eat no blood at all of animals or cattle or any bird which fly in the heavens. We decimated right here. He says, and eat no blood at all of animals or cattle or any bird which flies in the heavens. And if thou doest slay a victim as a acceptable peace offering, slay ye it, and pour out its blood upon the altar, and all the fat of the offering on the altar, with fine flour and meat offering mingled with oil, and with a drink offering offer them all together on the altar of burnt offerings. It is a sweet savor before the Lord. So, like I said before, this is what the drama right here is. We ain't dealing with this because we're too busy dealing with JC. So we don't think we have to do this because JC didn't came. But Enoch, Abraham is admonishing Isaac to do these things right here. We ain't doing them, and so we don't want us to do them because he took away the animals for us to do it. Well, anyway, she says 8, and thou wilt offer the fat of the sacrifice of the thank offering on the fire, which is upon the altar, and the fat which is on the belly, and all the fat on the inward, and the 2 kidneys, and all the fat that is upon them, and upon the loins and the liver shall be removed together with the kidney. So you gotta look at that. This is what JC canceled. By us accepting him, this is what he canceled. This is the difference in us and Isaac and Abraham and all them. They canceled. They gave us his God. He canceled this. They say he done away with this. So it says, and offer all these 4 sweet savors acceptable before the Lord. Acceptable before the Lord, with the meat offering and with the drink offerings for a sweet savor, and the bread of the offering unto the Lord. And eat it meat. Check it out. And eat its meat on that day and on the second day, and let not the sun on the second day go down upon it until it is eaten. And let nothing be left over the 3rd day. See that? The 3rd day. For it is not acceptable, for it is not approved, and let no longer be eaten, and all who eat thereof will bring sin upon themselves. For thus I have found it written in the books of my fathers. See that? In the books of my fathers. Ain't no New Testament. And in the words of Enoch, and in the words of Noah. They don't know him. They don't know nothing about him. That's what is being revealed to us. And they so such a nut bucket. This is what they should have took out right here. So because they a lack of understanding, which we're gonna read in a minute, they don't know. They don't feel they need to take this out. Like I said, our forefathers was talking to angels. How can you? Who's more superior? We talking to angels. So it says, and on all the it says, okay, let me go back up. It says, yeah, the words of Noah 11, and on all the oblations thou shalt strew salt, and let not the salt of the covenant be lacking in all the oblations before the Lord. So 11 says, and on all the days of oblations. So what's the oblation? I broke that down on several occasions. What's our oblation? 3 times they were doing some oblations in the book of Daniel. Said Gabriel came to him in the 3rd oblation that evening. And that's when Gabriel showed up to him. That's what Antiochus stopped. He stopped the oblations. That's what abomination and desolation is. He stopped those 3 oblations. Okay? So it says, and there ain't no, the creator ain't got no, there's no other way to deal with him but those oblations. They can, like I said, they connected to us by the hip. Just like the ram and the goat and the duck and the pigeon, they all connected to us by the hip. That's why we don't have none of those things. Okay? So then 12, and as a regard to the wood, here you go, right here. Just the wood and the stone. As regard to the wood, I mean, no, I ain't there yet. Let's say, as regard to the wood of the sacrifice, beware, check this out. Beware, lest thou bring other wood for the altar in addition to these. You go to wood we're supposed to use: cypress, diaphragm, sedge, pine, fir, cedar, savin, palm, olive, myrrh, laurel, and citron, juniper, and balsam. Who knows? Who the hell knows what these wood is? Okay, this is what JC counseled. So anyway, as for these kinds of wood, lay upon the altar under the sacrifice, such as have been tested as to their appearance, and do not lay thereon any split or dark wood, but hard and clean, without fault. See that? There go again. So he said without fault. If he say without fault, it means some trees and some wood out there without fault. That's just like animals. You can't bring no animal up here without fault. That means some animals that with fault. Men. The Israelite men. That's why he said don't mingle with them. We don't have no fault on us. When it comes to our DNA, there wasn't no fault on us till we started intermingling with them. So he said, men wonder that. Okay, so he says, such as have been tested as of their appearance, and do not lay thereon any spit or dark wood, but hard and clean, without fault, a sound and with new growth, and do not lay thereon old wood, for its fragrance is gone, for there is no longer fragrance in it as before. So what they tell me, he can smell it. So you think you burning wood, somebody way up in heaven smell it? No, he right there, and he telling you what to burn so he can smell it. So anyway, besides these kinds of wood, there is none other that thou should place on the altar. For the fragrance, like I just said, the fragrance is dispersed, and the smell of the fragrance goeth not up to heaven. Observe this commandment, do it, my son, that thou mayest be upright in all thy deeds. So right here, just this verse right here, kill the New Testament. Observe this commandment, do it, my son, that thou mayest be upright in all thy deeds. So we doing that? Hell no. So how are we upright? Okay. So he says, and at all times be clean in thy body. Wash thyself with water before thou approachest to offer on the altar, and wash thy hands and thy feet before thou drawest near to the altar. And when thou art done sacrificing, check this out. Wash again by the hands of thy hands and thy feet. And look at this. I told you about the blood. Right? And let no blood appear on you, nor upon your clothes, but only thy guard, only, but on thy guard, my son, again, say, be on a, okay, I'm reading this wrong. Be on thy guard, my son, against blood. See that? So this is one of the #1 things, blood. So go back to the Passion of the Christ. Let that firmate. Let it beat the hell out of JC with the Passion of the Christ. Come on, man. Look at this. So he says, be on guard, my son, against blood. Be on guard exceedingly, cover it with dust. And so he's saying the Creator sit there and watched all that. He getting the hell beat out and blood everywhere. But he telling us to be on guard for blood. Come on. So look at this. It says, cover it with dust, and do not eat any blood, for it is the soul. So the blood is the soul. So they beat JC's soul out of him. Let that firmate. It says, for it is the soul. Eat no blood whatsoever, and take no gifts for the blood of man, lest it be shed with impurity, without judgment. For it is the blood that is shed that causes the earth to sin. See that? So they beating the hell out of JC, and you causing the earth to sin. Come on. See that? See that is shed, that is shed cause the earth to sin, and the earth cannot be cleansed from the blood of man, saved by the blood of him who shed it. And let me deal with that right here, because this is major. So he says, let me read it. And take no gift for the blood of man, lest it be shed with impurities or without judgment. For it is the blood that is shed that causes the earth to sin, and the earth cannot be cleansed from the blood, saved by the blood of him who shed it. So in 143 BC, when you go back and read it in 1st and 2nd Maccabees, they shed out Israelite blood all over the place, all over the land of Israel. Then it became desolate. Then they ran us out, right? So look what the Creator said. Like I say, just the total opposite of the New Testament. So we in Ezekiel, right? I read this the other day. So we in Ezekiel 37, 35. He says the only way the land can be cleansed, so the land got to be cleansed for us to go back, right? So he says the only way the land can be cleansed, that the blood of him who shed it got to be clean, got to be spilled on the same place. So we in Ezekiel 37, for me, Ezekiel 35. Moreover, the word of the Lord of hosts, came unto Ezekiel, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, and prophesy against it, and say unto it, Thus said the Lord God, behold, O Mount Seir, this Esau, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord. Here you go. Because thou have had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, 143 BC, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord God, I will prepare thee unto blood. Blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off it from him that passeth out, and him that returneth. And I will fill his mountains with his slain men in thy hills, and in thy valleys, and in all thy rivers shall they fall that are slain by the sword. And I will make thee a perpetual desolation, and thy city shall not return, and ye shall know I am the Lord. So where they at? This where the drama come in, and they having the right understanding. They over there. They in the land, sitting ducks to be destroyed, fulfill prophecy. So let's look at it right quick. I'll go back to Enoch. So you go to Enoch, you go to let me get it. Gotta go back over here, man. I lost my train of thought. So anyway, so we see right here, blood is everything. So we says 20. Enoch chapter 21 and 20. So it says, and take no presence. Oh, I read that. 21 says that all the works of the children of men are sin and wickedness. So this is another trick. All the works of the children of men are sin and wickedness. So the children of men ain't Israelites. It's Cain descendants, Japhet, and then we're gonna see Ham included in it. But they the ones. That's not Israelites. Not the children of men. They're not Israelites. So he says, all the works of the children of men are sin and wickedness. So it's in their DNA. They wicked. Israelites ain't wicked by their DNA. It's learned behavior and intermingling and all that. It says all their deeds are unclean. See that? And an abomination and a pollution. That's who they are. 8. It says, and there is no righteousness with them. We know Noah was righteous. Adam was righteous. Enoch was righteous. So these sons of men ain't children of men ain't Israelites. So anyway, but they train you to think they are, right? To go along with the narrative of JC. Beware lest thou should walk in their ways. See that? Stay the hell away from them. They wicked as hell. Unless you find yourself walking in their ways. That's where we at. And tread in their paths. And sin is sin unto death before the Most High God. Else he will hide his face from thee. That's where we at. And give thee back into the hands of thy transgressions. And root thee out of the land. That happened in 143 BC. And thy seed likewise from under heaven. And thy name and thy seed will perish from the whole earth. Turn away from all their deeds and all their uncleanness, and observe the ordinance of the Most High, and do his will, and be upright in all things. And he will bless thee in all thy deeds. And I will raise up, check it out, this is where they stuck JC at. I will raise up from thee the plan of righteousness through all the earth. So what's a plan of righteousness? It's this same word, this same Hebrew idiom is over in Isaiah 53. So what's a plan of righteousness? When Israelite man, Israelite woman, you stay within your race. And you're doing all these things that Abraham is commanding Isaac. You're going to get a righteous seed, a righteous nation. That's what you're going to get. But they telling you it's JC. So anyway, it says, and I will raise up from thee the plan of righteousness through all the earth. That's when a righteous man and a righteous woman get together, keeping the Most High's laws, statutes, and judgment, and get a seed, righteous seed. And in Israel, it's all the way across the board. All these houses, all these men and women coming together, they have righteous seeds, right? So he says, in my name and thy name will not be forgotten under heaven forever. Now we know why. Now his name we forgotten, and his name forgotten, because we didn't keep this. It says, "Go, my son, in peace. May the Most High God, my God, and thy God strengthen thee to do his will. And may he bless all thy seed and thy residue of thy seed from generation forever with all righteous blessings, that thou mayest be a blessing on all the earth." And he went out rejoicing. I'm gonna read 22 and then I'll close it out. So it says,
Shalom.
And he came.
Brother Leonard, you in the book of Jubilees, chapter 22, you were saying the book of Enoch, but it's the book of Jubilees, right?
No, I'm in the book of Enoch. I was gonna do a reason why I didn't. This is, like I say, this is a misnomer. I'm just reading out Enoch, but Jubilees kill it. But so I'm gonna do Jubilees and Enoch on Friday night.
Got you. Okay. Okay.
That our father, this is Enoch, Abraham, and Jasher and Jubilees. None of them are talking about the New Testament, and nothing in it. It's total opposite.
Okay, is that an Enoch only book? Like, or is it in the book with Enoch, Jubilees, and Jasher?
Yeah, this is in the book of Jubilees and book Jubilees, Enoch, and Jasher. Right. Yeah. I'm in the book of Jubilees, but I'm gonna show you how that Enoch is saying the same thing.
Okay.
With Jasher, and yeah, I'm just reading out here right now to show, for example. I read this before, some of it before. It says, "Go, my son, in peace." Oh, I read that. It says, "And it came to pass in the first week, in the 44th Jubilee, in the second year, that is the year of which Abraham died, that Isaac and Ishmael came from the well of oak to celebrate the feast of weeks, that is the feast of the first fruit and the harvest to Abraham, their father. And Abraham rejoiced because of the two sons that had come. And Isaac had many possessions in Beersheba, and Isaac was wont to go and see his possessions and return to his father. And in those days, Ishmael came to see his father, and they both came together, and Isaac offered a sacrifice for burnt offerings and presented it on the altar of his father, which he had made in Hebron. And he offered a thank offering and made a feast of joy before Ishmael, his brother. And Rebekah made new cakes. Notice right here, Rebekah made new cakes from the new grain and gave them to Jacob. So what they remind you of? When the three angels came to Abraham in Genesis 18, they cooked the meat, they cooked a lamb, and they made cakes. Right? So it says, and he offered thanksgiving and made a feast of joy before Ishmael and his brother. And Rebekah made new cakes from the new grain, and gave them to Jacob, her son, to take to Abraham, his father, from the first fruits of the land. And he might eat and bless the creator of all things before he died. And Isaac too, sent by the hands of Jacob to Abraham the best thanks offering, that he might eat and drink. And he ate and drank and blessed the Most High God, who had created heaven and earth, who had made all the fat things of the earth, and given them to the children of men, that they might eat and drink and bless their creator. And now I give thanks unto thee, my God, because thou hast caused me to see this day, because I am 103 and 15 years. That's 175 years. An old man and full of days, and all my days have been unto me peace. The sword of the adversary have not overcame me in all that thou hast given me and my children all the days of my life unto this day. My God, may thy mercy and thy peace be unto thy servant and upon the seed of his sons, that they may be to thee a chosen nation and an inheritance from among all the nations of the earth, from henceforth even until the generations of the earth, unto all ages. So this apply what I've been reading, apply to all ages. He ain't got no son that's gonna come and change this. It says to all ages. And he called Jacob and said, my son Jacob, may the God of all bless thee and strengthen thee to do righteousness, and his will be before him, and may he chose thee and thy seed, that ye may become a people of his inheritance according to his will always. And do thou, my son Jacob, draw near and kiss me. And he drew near and kissed him, and he said, blessed be my son Jacob, and all the sons of the Most High unto all ages. And may God give unto thee a seed of righteousness. See that? That's children, righteous seed. It ain't no son, no particular person coming that's going to be righteous. Enoch was righteous. Okay? It says, some of thy sons may be sanctified in the midst of the whole earth. May nations serve thee, and all the nations bow themselves before thy seed. Be strong in the presence of men, and exercise authority over all the seeds of self. Then thy ways and the ways of thy sons will be justified, so that they shall become a holy nation. May the Most High God give thee all the blessings wherewith he hath blessed me, and wherewith he has blessed Noah and Abraham and Adam. And may they rest on the sacred head of thy seed from generation to generation forever. And may he cleanse thee from all unrighteousness and impurity, that thou mayest be forgiven of all thy transgressions and thy sins of ignorance. And may he strengthen thee and bless thee, and may thou inherit the whole earth. And may he renew his covenant with thee, that thou mayest be to him a nation for his inheritance for all ages, and that he may be to thee and to thy seed a God in truth and in righteousness through all the days of the earth. And do thou, my son, remember my words and observe the commandments of Abraham thy father. Here you go, right here. This right here is really what kills the whole, knock the ball out the park. He says, for observe the commandments of Abraham thy father. Separate thyself from the nations. Separate thyself from the nations. Eat not with them. Eat not with them. You got Negroes now, they think this, oh, ain't nothing wrong with that. Look what he's telling them. Eat not with them. Do not according to their works. And become not their associates. For their works are unclean. And all their ways are pollution and an abomination. And you don't want to know why we in the situation we in. All their ways are a pollution and an abomination and uncleanliness. They offer their sacrifices to the dead, and they worship evil spirits. What's the evil spirit? Giants. When the giants died, it was the evil spirit. What they do? That's what they're doing. They conjuring them up. Whereas we trying to get the hell away from them, they conjuring them up. Right? So it says they offer their sacrifices to the dead, and they worship evil spirits, and they eat over the grave, and all their works are vanity and nothing. All their works are vanity and nothing. They have no heart. Check it out. This is what I was talking about right here. They have no heart to understand, and their eyes do not see what their works are. Come on. So what he's saying is, you done drug people all the way across the Atlantic Ocean, beat the hell out of them, little kids. The woman's pregnant, you done abuse her so much, the first chance she gets, she jump over the slave ship. But you don't remember none of that when they get over here. You still think, you was there on the boat, you saw all this shit, and you think it's righteous to the day. Now your seeds know the history, they think it's righteous. So he tell you right here, he telling you, they have no heart to understand, and their eyes do not see what their works are. Come on. It says, and how they err in saying to a piece of wood. Here you go. You go to wood and stone. And how they err in saying to a piece of wood that thou art my God, and to stone, thou art my Lord. and thou art my deliverer, and they have no heart. As for thee, my son Jacob, this is Abraham talking. Like I said, who you gonna listen to? Jesus or Abraham? Okay? Say, may the Most High God help thee, and the God of heaven bless thee, and remove thee from their uncleanness and from all their errors. So we gotta wait, and that's what I said earlier. He gotta remove us from this. We steady caught up with it. We going to their damn schools. So you ain't going nowhere. You went to their schools. You went to their, all the shit, everything you got. Like I said, from the time you born, you're 18. You can't get away from it. Okay? So he says, and the God of heaven bless thee and remove thee from their uncleanness and from all their error. Be thou aware, my son Jacob, of taking a wife from any seed of the daughters of the Gentiles. So now, like I said before, JC come, Abraham just said this here, JC come down and bend down in the sand and write some bullshit in the sand and say, if anybody sin, then let him throw the first stone. No, that ain't what Abraham said. Come on. So he says, for all the seed is to be rooted out of the earth. Not some of them. He says, for all the seed shall be rooted out of the earth when that day comes. For owing to transgressions, here you go, what I was telling you about. For owing to transgressions of Ham and Canaan error. Ham and Canaan error. Okay? Come on. And all the seed will be destroyed from off the earth, and all the residue thereof, and none springing from him will be saved on that day of judgment. And the Negroes, you've been to their schools and all that, oh yeah, some of them gonna come. Some of them with us, some of them this, some of them that. No, that ain't what the angel's saying, and that ain't what Abraham's saying. That's where he got it from. So he says, and as for all the worshipers of idols, JC. How many people worship in JC? Okay, all the worshipers of idols and idols and the profane, there will be no hope for them in the land of the living. Say, and there will be no remembrance of them on the earth. So they will have seen in the Shaul. They're going to sin into their hell and into the place of condemnation where they go, as the children of Sodom were taken away from the earth. So will all those who worship idols be taken away. Fear not, my son Jacob, and be not dismayed, O son of Abraham. May the Most High God preserve thee from destruction, and from the path of error may he deliver thee. This house have I built for myself, that I might put my name upon it in the earth. It is given to thee and into thy seed forever, and it will be a name. It will be named the house of Abraham. It is given to thee and to thy seed forever. For thou wilt build my house and establish my name before God forever. Thy seed and thy name will stand throughout all generations of the earth. And he ceased commanding him and blessing him. And the two lay together on one bed. And Jacob slept in the bosom of Abraham, his father's father. And he kissed him 7 times, and his affection and his heart rejoiced over him. And he blessed him with all his heart and said, the Most High God, the God of all, the creator of all, who brought me forth from Ur of the Chaldeans, that he might give me this land to inherit it forever, and that I might establish a holy seed. Blessed be the Most High forever. And he blessed Jacob and said, my son, over whom with all my heart and my affection I rejoice. May thy grace and the mercy be lifted upon him and upon his seed always. And do not forsake him, nor set him at naught from henceforth unto the days of eternity. And may thine eyes be open upon him and upon his seed, and thou mayest preserve him, bless him, and may sanctify him as a nation from thine inheritance. And bless him with all thy blessings from henceforth unto all the days of eternity, and renew thy covenant and thy grace with him and with his seed according to all thy good pleasure unto all the generations of the earth. So I don't see nothing in there, nothing in what I read got nothing to do with JC or his son or any of the ideology to the New Testament. It's Mark next. Any comments? Okay, everybody good?
Yep.
So like I was saying before, you know, it's not you thinking that you know, it's good, but when you look at really what's gonna happen to us, it ain't good. Because you constantly, you know, you constantly having to it's like you're being inside a wet paper sack or inside a plastic bag. You constantly trying to get out of it. This whole environment, this whole scene that we in. And we didn't know this even 10 years ago. Just imagine our forefathers. You know, that couple of generations after they got here. They wasn't where we at. They didn't see what we saw. We in a hellhole of knowledge. Okay? Yeah. So like I said, you let that firmate deal with what you want to deal with. Okay. So with that, nobody have nothing to say? Nobody have no comments on that?
I think it's interesting. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was just thinking about what you said, and you know, despite every effort that they have made to try to keep the truth hidden, it still has been out there for us to at least pull on the thread and start following it. They have not been able to totally shut our God out, but they've done a lot to do that, but he's always left something for us to pull on and to pull towards him.
Right, and because like I just read, he said they lack understanding, especially the understanding from our forefathers and from the knowledge he gave us. They didn't know what they took our stuff, but there's so much they left they should have took out. And now that we're in the last days, he's taking us right to it.
By what they do.
Right.
And don't do. Right.
Thank you. Okay, anybody else? Okay, I'll see y'all tomorrow for our reading through the Tanakh. We're going to be reading through the Tanakh. I think we're in Jeremiah. Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.